Hello and welcome to Lesson 4 in our continuing series, examining the goals and principles of the Constitution as seen in the Preamble. With Lesson 4 is the hope as you examine how we promote prosperity and secure liberty, that you'll be able to examine the ways our government works to encourage our nation to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Forgot a couple commas there, but you get the gist. Also, I want you to reflect on the role that you, as a citizen, and every citizen has in protecting our natural rights. Lastly, the hope is that you'll be able to analyze the overall effect that the government has. How good of a job has the government done in meeting the goals of the preamble? So, let's start. Promote the general welfare. Well, I often break this down to three words: healthy, wealthy, and wise. It's our government's job to encourage, not to provide, but to encourage the prosperity of our nation, to look out for the general well being, the general welfare. Well, what is ways that we can be well? Well, our health, naturally, but also financially and also mentally. So our government tries to invest into our nation, into our infrastructure, and try to encourage a society where we are healthier, wealthier, and wiser, where we're more prosperous, where we have greater prosperity, where the quality of life is improved from generation to generation. Well, let's think about it. Healthy. Some of the things that our government does to encourage us to be healthy. We have the Centers of Disease Control, which tries to prevent outbreaks of disease, and we have and try to find medicines to treat those that exist. We have the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, that puts labels on food so you know what exactly you're eating and ingesting, whether it's a medicine or a cupcake. We have and that goes and inspects places that process meat and other foods to make sure they're not spreading disease. How about wealthy? Well, how's our government trying to encourage us to be a much more financially secure country? Well, building and investing in infrastructure projects like highways, airports, ports for ships, so we can have better transportation. Giving grants to enable more high-speed internet, stronger electric lines. All these are things that help maintain our economy and going on. Also, our government watches over things like, say, the stock market and the banks to regulate them to make sure that they're dealing with us fairly. Lastly, wise. Well, you're in school right now. The government hasn't invested tax money, time, and effort to secure that its citizens have every opportunity to become wise citizens. That education is a right. So when you see public education, when you see grants and put into places for charter schools, when you see money made available for student loans, when you see government grants put into research and development or into the arts and culture. These are all ways that our government works to try to promote wisdom overall to make us more prosperous, health, wealth, and wise. All right, so with all that being said, reflect and go on to question 7. I would like for you to try to describe at least one way the government works to encourage, to promote our country to be prosperous, and the three areas we talked about: healthy, wealthy, and wise. Take the time to write your answer, pause the movie, and when you're ready, let's secure liberty. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. I would say that's possibly one of the most poetic parts of the preamble. What's it saying? Secure. Well, if you're securing something, you're protecting it, you're guaranteeing it, you're defending it. The blessings. Well, if something's a blessing, it's a gift that we are born with. It is something that we are endowed with. whether from our Creator or naturally. We are all blessed. We are all born with natural rights, liberties. Like Jefferson put, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When we look at the different liberties that are defined within our Constitution, the freedom to speak your mind, express yourself, to choose your own religion, to be informed of what's going on, to have rights of justice, your natural rights. The government's job is to protect. I mean, once again, this goes back to the Declaration of Independence. Why do governments exist? Their number one job is to protect the people's rights, to secure the blessings of our liberty. Now, the founders knew that they wanted to secure the blessings of liberty for themselves, them as they were writing it in the 1780s, but also to their posterity, for all Americans, for all U.S. citizens, in their time, in our time, and in the future. Your posterity is your children, your children's children, your children's children's children, and so on. Every future generation of America, we, in a lot of ways, are inheriting our rights, not just from those who fought so hard to protect them, but also from the future, who we now have to protect. We have to secure and make sure that they will grow up in a society where their natural rights and liberties are protected. So the government, our people, our job is to secure our natural liberties for us and for the future. And when we look at free societies around the world, that model, that idea that the government's job is to secure and protect our natural rights and that human rights exist will serve as a role model for many societies throughout the world. Our Constitution, once again, being very influential. And if you look at the picture that's behind you, you can see the people voting. One of our most important natural rights is the right to have a say in our government, to have elections. And that's one of the ways that we, the people, work to not only be the boss in our government, but to protect our rights, to elect people who are going to protect our liberties. So that is another idea of how we work to secure and protect our rights. So what I'd like for you to do now is, voting is one way that we discussed, but there can be others. What are ways that you can work, to secure that the liberties that you enjoy today, that people fought for, defended, and protected, that you have today? Your right to have a say in your government, your right to speak your mind, your right to choose your religion, your right to pursue whatever job you want in life and try to make the most out of yourself, to be educated. What will you do? What can you do to make sure that your children and other future generations of Americans will have these same rights protected? Think on that. Pause the movie, and when you're finished, continue. Now that you have finished and you've reviewed the goals of the preamble, the next passages are do ordain, establish the Constitution, which means we approve the Constitution, and for the United States of America, it's for us. Those are pretty self-explanatory. But now I want you to look at the goals that we looked at in the whole. Securing that we the people are the boss, having a more perfect union where we work together, establishing a fair system of justice in the land, ensuring that our homeland is peaceful and secure, making sure that our lives, our liberties are defended from foreign threats, encouraging our economy, our minds, our lives to have prosperity, and last but not least, to secure our natural rights. Which of these goals do you think the U.S. government has done the best job in meeting? Why? And, well, our government, our history has not been perfect. We're always pursuing to be more perfect, but we certainly haven't been perfect. What do you think the U.S. government has done the worst job in meeting? Where do you think that we, in reflection, need to do the most work, the most improvement in meeting our great American bucket list goals? Think on both of those, write out your answers, and you're done with lesson 4. Thanks for watching. Have an outstanding day.